Court. Let's get to it.
The things you thinking I'm doing, I'm not doing with my coach, Hall of Famer coach Joe Goose. I'm not just know who's doing it. You're gonna be guessing.
Listen, show us one more time.
That's Desi Banks.
Slow ass punches. It's like Meek Mill.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah. I seen McMill on the Powers. That nigga look ridiculous. They got my nigga Desi Banks on the episode. I got Ryan Garcia winning a fight against Tank. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go.
We can't start this episode without toasting to another amazing season in the shop, making incredible moments and having amazing conversations. Cheers, brother.
Yeah.
Did you play both ways in high school?
Yeah, I play corner and I play receiver. I was supposed to play corner, but
At Maryland.
Did you I was recruited for just receiver. I only had 3 schools to play corner, and guess the schools right now. I bet you can't guess.
Wait. The 3 schools that recruited you to play corner, obviously wasn't Maryland, were you?
All receiver. Alabama.
Wow. Miami?
And Clemson.
So you thought about going to play corner?
Clemson. I wanted to go to Clemson, but I was like, I wanted to play receiver, then I was kind of up in the air, but then like Clemson had Sammy, DeAndre Hopkins, Martavius Bryant. They really had their first 3 that was all damn near first round talent.
Yeah, because you from
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah. Your senior year in high school, when you're deciding if you're gonna play corner or wide out, are you thinking pros or you just like I just want to?
I thought about going to the league before I got to high school. I was like, man, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Something got to take the back seat, and it was like school. But then I went to a private school, and so it was hard as shit. And I was like, man.
It's crazy because I had the same I said the same thing. But
the same feeling. But it's crazy, your brother did the opposite.
Yes.
His brother went to school to play receiver, and now they switched him to corner.
Yeah, Nick Saban switched him his junior.
He wanted to play receiver.
His junior year, he switched
Or his sophomore year, like going on his sophomore year or junior year, he started playing DB, but still at receiver. So my brother really got a hell of a story. He really kind of played both ways at Alabama, and then he started playing corner.
Because his freshman and sophomore year, he played receiver.
And they slowly transitioned him to corner. He played corner.
One of the dopest things I saw was y'all in the Pro Bowl, man.
Oh, my God.
What was that like, man?
I think it's kind of surreal, too, to a certain extent, because it's like, that doesn't happen. Both of us play, like, one of those positions that compete at a high level. My brother's nice. Like, my brother ain't no, like, average Joe.
No, he all pro,
So I be on his ass about
big on big.
I'm like this. You did good for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you.
And this will be the first
That's
year
supposed
y'all
to be a nice
played
moment to be siblings and y'all both making it in the sport to the highest level.
He want to go one-on-one with you?
Yeah, he been wanting to go one-on-one.
I know, I don't want that so bad. Because he know all your moves from day one.
That's what he think, though. I kept a couple up my sleeve.
Oh, you kept
I had to keep a couple up my sleeve, though. I had to. In case days like this, a rainy day, see your own sibling. You know, he does. He watched me close. He studied me. He know me well.
Yeah, because I was reading your pops died early. So you was like, that's why you went to Maryland, right?
Yeah,
to stay close to home.
Yeah.
So you kind of helped. You like big brother, but also kind of everything to him, right?
100%. That's my man. I had to tighten him up a couple times though too. Like,
did you?
Know what I'm saying? Yeah, he like tried me one time. Like,
how old was he?
Coming to his own, I think he was in high school. You know, you get high school.
Smelling yourself.
Yeah, you got a little emotion. You having your stuff together. And he was like, he had said something slick to me, like, da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, call me on my name. I was like, that's all right.
But wait, before this, he was always little bro, respectful.
Ain't never tried me, but I said, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm old school. I waited like 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? He thinks it died down. I'm still mad. I said, I'm gonna see him. So I drove up there. I was waiting in the cut. Like my car got my tents, you know what I'm saying? Everything dark. So my mom pulled up to the house. I watched him pull up to the house. They don't even see me. So I turned my car in the front. I pull up in the front. My brother was like shocked a little bit. Like they was taking groceries in the house. So I hop out the car. I was like, what was all that you was talking about, Holmes? And my mom like gave you that eye, like the mom like this, like she gonna mind her business.
She gonna look the other way on this one.
So I popped him. I straight popped him.
Oh shit! He didn't see it coming.
He took off, and I had a boot on at the time.
Wait, you hurt?
Yeah, I had broke my ankle in college.
I
was crippled. I wanted
But
to
you
see
really
about that.
did it.
Yeah, I wanted to see about that. My little brother tried me, but you know what I'm saying?
This
That
nigga
some
was
family,
nigga had a
real
boot
tough
on,
shit,
beat
like,
his
that
brother's
family
ass.
shit like
and
that.
he ain't never tried me again. That's my.
By the way, who
boy.
faster?
I'm faster. He'll argue with you, but check the tape.
That's a different demeanor, boy. You don't care. You really don't care about nothing at that point.
Nah.
When you're in the boot fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm a little off.
Okay.
You gotta be a little off to play football.
You gotta be a little off, but by the way, your sport, you gotta be a little fucking
You
off
gotta
too.
be crazy.
Yeah, you gotta be thrown off.
Huh? You gotta be crazy.
Do you know you're off?
A little bit. You gotta be a little bit off.
For a living to
all
get
that
punched in the
weight,
face?
Or to punch somebody else.
Punch somebody else in the face.
Yeah.
And then cut the weight? Yeah, exactly.
The weight cuts.
What you fight at?
35,
And what you walk around?
150, 152.
15.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
How do you lose that much weight?
You just gotta do
You gotta drink water?
sauna suits. You gotta do, you can't eat. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of sacrifices you gotta do. You gotta go deep into to yourself and just know that you're okay to die. That's what you gotta think. Like, I'm okay. I'm just gonna make this
you
weight.
be okay with the what?
Like, you have to think that. Like, you just gotta be okay with it.
Is that in the contract? Yeah, you gotta be ready to die. Right?
This is what
You're like, no, this ain't what I'm signing. I thought we was just playing. We were just fighting.
No, it's real life though. That's the scariest part. I feel like for boxing, for me.
What age were you when you realized it? Because as a kid, you just having fun doing
Yeah.
it. Now you're a pro.
I think I knew I was gonna box since I was like 9. I just felt like I was good at it, and I just never had a doubt in my mind that I was gonna become something, like in fighting, at least. And then it got real when I was 15, and then I just dropped out of school, like 9th grade. I
Damn.
think. And my family was behind me. Everybody thought I could do it. And then I turned pro at 17 because I couldn't go to the Olympics. They changed the age groups from 17 to 19. So I made the Olympic team. Then they changed the age groups, and I was like, And they took off the headgear, so I was like, I'm gonna fight for 4 more years without a headgear. I'm not gonna get paid. I was like, I'm gonna go pro.
Fuck that, I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna get hit, I'm gonna get
I love
paid.
that.
You finna die. You might well go and get that money.
Both of y'all in a sport where you have to be okay with getting hit. Yeah. You never liked that shit, right?
You don't want to get hard, no.
But are there guys out there, Stefan, who are like, they actually like, I want, because some linebackers be like, hit me.
So listen, it's periods where like you go in phases of you wanting contact when the season first start or something like that. When you built up enough armor, you've been working out. Like damn, like I'm gonna lay some lumber on somebody. But me, I try to avoid it at all costs, just because like I play a position that I can't be getting hit all the time.
Yeah, you're the hunter. You getting hunted.
You see a guy like Adrian Peterson. We all know Adrian Peterson, one of the great.
Go to him.
I played on his team, right? So he was one of those people that just like. He had to be a little off. He was bald-headed. You know, bald-headed people usually be like...
Man, no, God, bald-headed people are a different
They
type.
don't care about
You see what I'm saying?
Bald-headed people are a different type of niggas, bro. If you know a bald-headed nigga is a different type of nigga, Chad. A bald-headed nigga is a different type of nigga, bro. Like, they just don't give a fuck. They have no fucking hair. Like, they just don't care. They don't care.
Get rid of it.
He used to punish people. Like, it's plenty of tape out there. You can just watch his highlights. Like, it'll be him and a DB, and typically a running back, save my body, I'm gonna step out of bounds. And everybody tackled him low, so they was diving at his legs, and he'll just, like, dive, like, low and put all his...
He wants to contact.
Some people like that. It's crazy.
You, like, need it. Low-key, it's like a drug. Like, if you start to love contact, it's like you can't live without it.
But I look at you, and I say all of this respectfully. You're like 6 foot nothing, 100 nothing pounds. You're a beast. You're a fucking monster on the field. Like, where's your edge? Like, where's your?
I think competitive spirit, like more so. Like I put a lot of time into my craft, and I watch myself. Like a lot of times, people get caught up in watching tape or watching somebody else. I like to watch myself, so I can consistently be inconsistent with what I'm showing you. Like, I can't keep showing you the same thing. If I show you something, I'm gonna show you something different. And I wanna win, like, you know what I'm saying? I believe in myself. Like, y'all can attest, if you believe in yourself, it sound cliche,
That's real.
but I believe I'm that nigga. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never didn't think anything else. So when I go in there, I go in with the mindset, I'm trying to dominate.
Is that what came through? Because people obviously got pictures of you on the sideline at the play.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Is that was what you were showing, right? Just like, but I always say, like, playing football, you fucking run out there getting hit. Of course it's gonna get a little testy sometimes.
Yeah, it get wild out there.
You know how aggressive boxing is.
You know it get real.
Now, like, football is like somewhat of a similar thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for people who feel a way about it, I gotta put it in perspective for you. Like, our DeMar Hamlin situation, like when we kind of like damn near lost somebody on the field, that's how physical it is. That's how serious it is. So when people refer to it as a game, I like to say, like, I'm not out there playing. It's okay to show emotion like that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be passionate. If I'd rather be passionate than somebody that's okay with losing, I ain't never going like that.
Never, right? Never. And you seem like the one that rally everybody up too, for sure.
That's my thing.
Because when watching the DeMar thing, obviously none of us knew what was going on. And then it was like, are they gonna play again? I saw you trying to get everybody back together. What was that? Because that was a hell of a roller coaster.
I think it's like whatever relationship you have with death. Like, I lost my father when I was real, real young. I've had experience with death with many of my family, my friends, and like I try to detach myself mentally to a certain extent. But in that situation, like, it was kind of in and out. It was so inconsistent. Like, he came to, he went. You know what I'm saying? You saw, nobody else saw, but we saw the, what's this called?
A heart monitor.
Yes, flatline.
Heart monitor.
You saw
it flatline?
Swear to God.
Wow.
I saw a flatline twice.
Oh my
So
God.
at flatline, they shocked him. He came back, and everybody was like, it's like a movie. It was such a moment of like,
crazy.
I don't know, like it's hard to describe because it's inconsistent on how to feel. Like you don't know if you want to play.
It's a roller
You know what I'm
coaster,
saying?
yeah.
Like guys crying, and in that moment, like I couldn't do anything but other than if I know DeMar Hamlin personally, which I do, like a little bro, get your guys ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like rally your guys behind them because if you didn't have something to play for, you got something to play for now. You know what I'm saying? And of course, they ended up ultimately ending the game, which was, you know what I'm saying, probably in the best interest. But in that moment, if we had to go back out there, I know DeMar would have wanted us to play, you know what I'm saying? Because when he came to finally, his first words was, did we win?
Yeah, get the
And I was like, I was like a little iffy. Like, I was like, damn, am I messed up for like wanting to try to get guys to play? Like, obviously some guys couldn't. But then when he woke up and said, did we win? It was like reassuring that.
Validation.
I know he
That
had a
you
winning
knew him,
spirit.
yeah.
I knew my little bro would have wanted me to go bump with them, not go leave.
I was thinking about something in a way different spirit. You as a comedian, Desi, are there ever times you're gonna go on stage and you got life shit, right? You're not in a good mood, something's happened.
I ain't got to worry about dying.
But you gotta go on stage and turn that thing on and be funny and make people laugh.
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that? Like,
Well, I would say it's most definitely different from social media. You know, social media, you got takes, you know, when it come from shooting skits and stuff like that. If I mess up, let me do this again. But on that stage, you can't say, oh, let me do this joke over. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's just me being, you know, a student of the game, and I study. I study myself, you know what I'm saying? I work on my jokes every day. I watch the greats, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been a part of me, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, I used to watch the Eddie Murphys and the Martin Lawrence and, you know, working with the people like Mike Epps, you know, going on tour with them guys, you know, poured into me so much, you know what I'm saying? It helped me so much and let me know, you know, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. You know
But
what
I
I'm saying?
couldn't believe you did it because stand-up is fucking hard.
And you know, you can die in the beginning stages.
But it's hard, to your point, and it doesn't necessarily translate, meaning people don't understand it's different genre of comedy. It's still
is.
comedy, but a different style.
Most definitely. I would say my shows are totally different from my skits. My skits is skits. But some people be saying, that motherfucking show is 10 times better than this damn skits. Because, you know, what my show is, you know, you learning about me. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing about how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing about what I done went through. You know, you're hearing about my mom, my grandmother. You know, you're hearing about just real
You talk
life.
about your
my personal life. But it's more mature, I would say. You know what I'm saying?
Because your skits are characters and things, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
is there something you're prouder of?
I'm very
Skits,
proud.
Stand-up?
Yeah, because to be honest, man, stand-up allowed me to, like, find my real self. You know what I'm saying? Tap into my real self, tap into that real gift. I want to relate to the people. I feel like if whatever I'm going through in life, I feel like people is going through it as well. You know what I'm saying? Or if they're not going through it right now, they done been through it. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm on that stage, man, I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I'm away from everything. I'm just in that moment.
And you're not afraid to share anything about yourself?
Nothing. I'm like, this is it.
In music, for you, when you're writing, is it like, kind of like, I remember, was it Jay that said, my heart is bleeding through the pen? Like, are you letting go of yourself? Like,
I let go of myself all the time, especially in music, but it's hard for me just being in the country genre because you kind of got to limit what you say.
why you say that?
It's a different game. Like, I have a lot of songs that I write that I can't release, but that I just write and I can say whatever. I record them. They're just on my phone as demos, but I'll never release them. And then, like, I have a song that's the closest thing, or the furthest thing away that I can release. I released on my first album. It's called Learning. and it's talk about like the racism I went through growing up, the child abuse, and all this. And that was like one of the first songs that I ever wrote when I got to Nashville. And that was like one of the main things that brought all my fans towards me. Not only me being different in country music and kind of opening doors for other people that are just white, but also just being vulnerable and, you know, letting people know I'm just real and I'm gonna tell you how I am. And that's how I am on stage as well. Like I don't try and, I'm super shy off stage, and then when I get on stage, I just, you know.
Superstar.
Yeah, I just open up. My show's never the same. I'll say some of the same stuff sometimes, but you never know what I'm gonna say out. And then I start drinking and I just become a comedian. But, you know.
So do I.
Yeah.
Do you drink before the show or just when you get on
I
stage?
have to, dude. If I don't, like, I'm.
So by the time you get up there, you're a little salt, so.
Oh, I'm doing everything. Like, that is nothing. This is me by myself.
Shit.
But let me ask you, you started this and obviously you identify as a country singer. I think you're just a dope artist. So talk to me about, like, do you feel like you're pigeonholed? Is that by design, like the country music thing? I think you just make music, great music.
Yeah, well, country music is the first genre that I ever learned about. Tim McGraw, I Like It, I Love It was the first song I knew. I grew up on a dairy farm from Georgia. And so, till I got to middle school, country music was all I ever knew. And then I started learning about Chris Brown and Usher when I got to middle school. And that, you know, that was
reading,
fire
you
at the
also
time.
didn't know. You just thought you was till
Yeah,
a
I
kid
didn't know.
called you a nigga. You thought you was just a white.
Yeah, dude, real shit. I didn't know.
read
So I
that.
never met my dad. I didn't meet my dad till I was 16.
He called you.
And
He called you a nigga.
No. Yeah, he said, come here, bro. No, but my brother was white, my little brother, my mom was white, my nana was white. Never met any of my black side of my family. And then in middle school, 7th grade, there was these two brothers that came, that picking on. My nickname was Bones. I was like 130, 5'7", and he told me, he was like, move out of my seat. And I was like, nah, I ain't moving. I ain't moving. So we ended up getting into a scuffle, and then he was like, move, nigga. And it didn't faze me because I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
So then I went home and asked my mom about it, and she got pissed. And then it took my little brother to come and tell me that I was biracial.
Really?
And that's when I started asking about my dad. Wow. And then that's when that came up, and then I ended up meeting him when I was 16, when I was a freshman in high school. But it's like that stuff's what infuriated me. And so now I like going and just telling stories. I do a lot of stuff like the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. So I bring kids that are unfortunate and can't, you know, afford tickets or whatever, and I give them like, you know, great seats and just tell them how I was raised and that they can do anything that they put their mind to.
That's dope.
Like you were saying earlier.
That's amazing,
just as long as you believe in yourself.
Country music isn't the most diverse.
Yeah, well, coming in, it was tough because I feel like, if y'all don't know, I got started on Facebook just doing covers, but most of my comments were, I thought he was about to rap. Because I have tattoos everywhere, you know, I have my hat on, so that's why a lot of people clicked the video, because they thought I was about to rap. and then
Hey, so we got a nigga Eminem.
and I think that's what made me go viral. Now I feel like it's a lot more diverse. We got Jimmy Allen that's in there, Mickey Guyton, a lot more artists that are coming in, Willie Jones, and it's so cool because I feel like I was part of that door that's opening.
That's dope.
But you know the funny thing is he got a jacket on with 1619. There was the 1619 Project. There was articles in the podcast. Did you listen to it at all?
I didn't.
I think there was 6 or 7 in the series. She did one on economics. The one on economics was literally about how Wall Street is called Wall Street because the first thing that America traded were slaves, like bodies. And they would get, in England, in the UK, slavery was abolished, but you could still trade. The same way if you own a piece of land, you can go to the bank and go, I got no money, but I'll collateralize this land for, you could do it with slaves, right? It was basically black bodies backed mortgages. But she did one on music. Country music, it's black genre. It's totally, it became American music, but the banjo, the instrument, is from Africa. And then it got appropriated, of course. And now it's funny, now you're sitting here explaining how we're going back into it, but like it's a podcast that'll blow your mind.
Yeah, no, it's a super weird place to talk about, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's like, I'm always the one that gets brought into it. It's like, they feel like they gotta, you know, ask me about everything. The one time, I never won like a ACM or a CMA award. Like, I never really win any awards unless it's fan voted. Like AMAs, never give. I have, you know, 2 of the biggest songs in country music, streaming wise, never got an award for them. Yeah. And So I'm getting emotional, bro. Yeah. But when all the Black Lives Matter stuff comes up, then I win an award because I have a song called Worldwide Beautiful. And they're like, that's the most black people I've ever seen on a country music stage, was during that time, during the Black Lives Matter. And then I win my award.
Yes.
And when I was accepting that award, it really pissed me off.
Did you say that?
I've told it in interviews. I didn't say it on stage.
Well, you just said it on the show.
And do other artists, do you have some artists who shun you a little bit too? I read that somewhere too, where like...
When I first came in, I felt like people were kind of skeptical, but that was just because I kind of, I broke on social media. I was one of the first ones. And now everything's freaking TikTok. They tell you, if you blow up on TikTok, we'll sign you.
Better be on TikTok.
But other than that, the artists are pretty cool.
Have you ever wanted to walk away? Did any of that shit get so heavy that you're like, man, fuck this shit, ain't even worth it?
Nah, cause I mean, like, I love sitting here with people that are competitive. I'm one of the most competitive people you'll meet. I mean, I know you'll beat my ass, but I'll challenge you right now. Whatever you want to do. But yeah, man, I'm just competitive, so I just want to keep, growing my resume, and then eventually, like, hopefully 15, 20 years down the road, I can say I did that.
Speaking of competitive, the fight we all want to see.
Oh, yes, I was going to ask you this earlier.
Let that left hook go.
Yeah, King Ryan and Tank Davis.
Not right now, chilling. I did whatever I had to do to make the fight happen, In my heart, I put everything on the line, Went down to the weight he wanted, accepted everything he wanted.
Is he a little smaller than you?
He's smaller than me, but he fought at 140 before. It's just, with me, it's different. He can't fight me at 140. So he said, come down to 136. And, a lot of people, they got ego and they'll say, nah, I ain't gonna do what you say. I'm gonna keep on making millions of dollars. Like I could have, fighting anybody. But I said to myself, nah, everybody wants to see this, and I'm not gonna give nobody a chance to get away from it. And that's it. And I'm excited because this is gonna give me the respect I need. Got a lot inside because I've been doing this since I was 7. But they look at me, they don't want to give me that credit. They don't want to see me as a real fighter. And this is my chance. I'm going to take everything.
When you say a real fighter, so what do they see?
Yeah, social media. Because I blew up from it. And I'm just an analyst. I'm just a visionary. When I was young, I said, this is going to work. And I'm going to do it. Because I just knew that I had the capabilities of blowing up on it. And then I made it happen.
You think you'll beat Tank?
I know I'm going to beat him, 100%. Yeah. But I seen the same story since I was coming up in the amateurs. You ain't gonna beat him. You can't fight, but your style's weird. You awkward, same things. But then when I get in the ring, how do I pull it off? And to me, I don't listen to nobody. All I do is say to myself, what's the truth? I don't trust anything but the truth. And I know that when I get in the ring, somehow I figure it out. And why? Because I've been writing notes in my on the notepad since I was a little kid. Myself, my dad never told me anything. I would just go in my room and I would break down every position in the ring. And I've been like that since I was a little kid, just a super analyst in my brain. I was just always thinking. So that's what I feel like separates me.
So they say, obviously, styles make fights.
Right.
You know his style. You've seen him fight forever. You obviously know your style. Why do you think your style will work against him?
Because if you watched him, he fights sometimes B-level fighters, yet still gets hit and loses rounds. Whenever I fought a B-level fighter, I've knocked them out. I've only had one fight that was tough, and I fought a gold medalist. He never fought a gold medalist. It's all an illusion, and I'm here to settle it.
There's two things that I think is on his side. We've seen him get hurt now.
We know he can respond to being hurt.
We saw him get hurt.
We see his reaction to it.
And that's what the old timers used to say. You don't know if you're a champion until you get hurt and see how you react.
You had never been hurt up until then?
No, I've never been.
What was that
I never
like?
got dropped, nothing my whole career.
Tell us what
you've been knocked down, though?
Yeah, the one time, yeah.
How was that?
It was surreal. So, because I was like, I would never expect that. I'm like, damn, I just got caught. The guy was because I had to fight.
Show me real quick. Come on, let me see. Don't hit me.
I haven't fought a guy like as tall as me in a long time. So this man was as tall, and when I came up on him, I'm like, oh shit, he's bigger than I thought. Like his shoulders are wide. I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's gonna be a fight. Yeah. So when I was in there, I was taking to him. I was like, I won the first round pretty easy, and at that time, I was knocking everybody out. So I was like, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm about to just keep taking it to him. And then I'm fighting. I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I just lose concentration for a split second. He throws a shot. I'm just like this, and I get hit. I swear I just seen like white. The moment when I get hit, I swear I just seen like white.
Damn.
The moment when I got up, I was already standing up. When I came to, I was standing up. I was like, oh shit. I looked at my dad, I said, don't worry.
And
I just looked at him.
Did you ever think you was gonna lose?
I respect that.
In that moment, are you like, I'm in trouble?
No, I say to myself, you're gonna have to finish the job, because I'm right. I'm right to you. I wasn't hurt. Like, I felt like a little dizzy, but I said to myself, I've been worse drunk. Let's get it.
There we go.
And Ryan, I do want to touch on Canelo, right? You used to be part of his camp. Yeah. You guys had a relationship that seemed like big brother, little brother, right? Each other's corner.
Yeah.
You recently left that camp. What happened there?
That was a complicated situation. He said some stuff about me in public that I didn't like, but I let things go. I forgive people really quick, so I was just like, whatever. And I was getting ready for a fight, and a situation happened in the gym. Said I couldn't go at a certain time. I was like, man, I don't need this, I've been cool with everybody. I show everybody love, and at a certain point, you just got to go your separate ways. And
what did he say about you in public that you didn't like?
he said that I'm using mental health basically as an excuse, and that I'm wasting time and talent when I was really going through stuff. Like, I was
What did you go through?
Severe anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I was on the verge of killing myself at one point.
Okay.
During that moment. So
I got music
that's why, and I talked to him about it. That's why I didn't understand. I explained.
You went to him about it.
Of course, and he acted like he understood. So I was like, all right. So I just took it on the chin. It took me time. Self-reflection.
Therapy,
a little bit of therapy, self-reflection, and just understanding that, sometimes you go through things. It's just like a broken arm. You just don't see it. You just gotta let it heal, and then all of a sudden you come back. Because, a lot of people don't address it, and then they act out, and they make mistakes.
of course.
Because you don't want to settle down and just self-reflect. I say it's like taking 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward.
Yeah.
Because if I keep pushing it, what's gonna happen to me? And at the point, I was at the top.
Yeah.
I was hot at the moment. I just knocked out Luke Campbell. I was on top of the world. I was feeling good. I was getting paid. Everything was great. Social media was popping. Everything was going great. I was on top. It was something that I couldn't catch a hold of. I was like, what is this? And I would fight it, and I would just go on my runs. I would train. All of a sudden, I'll be, can't breathe. My heart's beating out my chest. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And then it just blew up, and then I just became, kind of self-sabotaged in my own brain.
Something I found super interesting. I thought of you, Desi. It's like when you went through that, you said you need to take a step back and got off of social media for a little bit.
Yeah.
Your career, your platform, your fan base has been built on social media, right? So if you're going through some shit, as we all do in life, can you step away from social? Like, how do you look at that?
I can, but not too long. Not too long. They say, all right, nigga, shit, bring your ass back. I get it, but
That's
nigga,
me. I was
bring
on your
ass
ass.
back.
Yeah. I needed
We need to see something. Yeah,
Where you
we
been
need to see
at?
something.
Is that okay?
That's cool, but I'm just very thankful that right now it's not just social media anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing other things now.
Yeah.
So that gave me the leverage to, to show. I could just post a picture sometimes.
That's
Hey, I'm
cool.
here. You know what I'm saying? I can, put some stuff in my story. It don't have to be a video. You know what I'm saying? So that give me like the leverage. Oh, I'm at a show. Come see me live on stage. You know what I'm saying? If you want to laugh. So that, I'm just thankful that I
Get
took that
some breathing room, right?
Yeah, I took that leap.
Because I had that issue too. I was like, man, I felt like I always had to post. That's the biggest misconception though. People are like, oh, you're not even working on anything. It's like, dude, I'm posting these videos because I know it's gonna go viral. Like, I'm not people don't want to see angles. They want to see speed or power. That's it. And fun entertainment. That's how I looked at social media. It was a game to me.
My little brother actually sent me one of his first videos. This was like years ago. And this was so long ago before, before you've been surgical, but before you had like a lot of fights. And I was like, I don't know, shawty, like, he gonna be a problem, because you follow boxing, but if you're not following boxing in detail, you might come across something like that. And I had seen like people try to throw criticism in the air, but it's like, shit, like, it's social media. Like, what I'm doing on my day-to-day, you know what I'm saying? I control what you see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But by the way, talking about that, you went viral recently watching the slap fighting, by the way.
No, listen,
What was it?
y'all seen that?
Yes.
It's not boxing.
I'm
it's
not a
like-
big fan of that.
He went viral watching it though.
I was just watching it and it's
What
like...
happened? You
we
got
were
invited?
balling. I was commentating. I'm a good commentator
Okay.
for real. So like, if you ever need
What you had?
voiceovers.
What you say?
I'm a great commentator.
This shit right here crazy. This shit, watch this. And I said, oh, shit. Black people commentary, you know how it is. Like,
But Steph, you get hit for real. Would you do that? Would you ever do this?
let somebody slap the shit up. I gotta go first.
Then he gonna run and nobody catching his ass.
I seen somebody's face so swollen.
And that guy won.
How
He
you
came back and won.
That's what tripped me out right there. I was like, yo, this
and he
ain't
won?
right.
Yes.
Somebody's gonna
He
get
was
real
getting.
hurt.
By the way, and this didn't seem like his weight class. It's kind of. The
Seemed a
dude
little
was
off.
way bigger than him.
Somebody thicker than you,
His
bigger
face
than
was
you.
swollen. His eye was closed.
These niggas getting a haircut in the shop.
breathe.
I mean, it's
And
a
he
lot
came
of
back
shop.
and won.
These niggas getting a
He
haircut
couldn't breathe. It's like
Talking.
everything just this was
for their podcast. That's crazy.
Nah, I don't want none of that smoke.
None of that smoke. Have you ever, when you got to the league, what was the first hit when you was like, oh yeah, this is different than college?
Actually, it wasn't even me that got hit. So it was my first year in the league, and it was Adrian Peterson and Cam Chancellor. Like, so we was in the playoffs, actually. This was Minnesota versus the Seahawks.
Seahawks,
So
yeah.
Seahawks was still had the Legion of Boom. They still had some pieces in it. They still was spicy. I was a youngin' out there. I was like thugging. I'm like, shit, I'm out here, so I'm supposed to be out this motherfucker. I seen them run through the hole. I swear it's the loudest I ever seen, like, shoulder passing helmet.
Collision.
And listen, I'm like, I can't see it. I heard
you're
it.
blocking. Oh,
I
you
heard
hear it.
I'm fake blocking. You know how I do. So I got my hands on somebody, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got a little relationship with the DV. They don't want to tackle.
Yeah, they don't want to tackle. You don't want to
I'm touching, I'm pushing them a little bit, and all I hear is crack. And you ever like get frightened by a noise?
Of course.
And I'm blocking somebody. I heard crack. I was like, I was like this. Oh my God.
You
And
was
they,
like, oh, this is different.
It was crash course, and then they kind of like stalemated, and then they kind of like fell like to the side. I was like this. Yeah, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, this is real.
You know, they can't really hit us no more. You can't really hit a
can't-
receiver. And
no.
it's really, I mean, I look at it as in, look, you hit me, you losing money. How many
Yes.
people want to lose money?
Yes.
So I run over there without a concern, like, dare you hit me. Dare you.
He look at you like,
I can point at that, I can point your ass out.
yeah, they can't really. So y'all, that's funny because they won't offensive league, so you consciously know that as a receiver.
You know it,
Because you
and they
can't
know
get a defensive receiver cannot get hit.
And older guys, you know, they don't respect that because back in the day, like, everybody was hard and was hitting. And I'm like this, I understand, but like, I'm just in a different time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate my time, you know what I'm saying? If it was back then, I would be what y'all was on. And y'all probably was a little off. I mean,
Who
when I would've-
the best DB you done win against?
It's crazy because when I was a youngin', like my first year, I took all my lumps. Like by that I mean I took all my L's, like from the best guys. Like, cause I went against Richard Sherman as a rookie. I went against Patrick Peterson as a rookie. I went against Sam Shields. He was in Green Bay. I saw a lot of guys, and on the schedule, it kind of taught me that shit. As a youngin', you'll take your lumps. You know what I'm saying? You'll learn from them, but you gotta take your lumps. And those are Hall of Fame guys. Everybody I named damn near a Hall of Fame
course,
player
yeah.
or going to Kent at one point. So I feel like I learned so much about myself. Like, if you're a real competitor, you can take a loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like getting knocked down. Like, you took that moment and kind of like created like shit. Like, man.
It's motivation.
Yeah, like I'm on to the next. I'm back in the
get to
ring
it.
bumping.
Let's
Like,
get
to
to it.
me, I took those lumps. I said, all right. I learned myself. I got back in the lab.
Damn,
in
I've been
the
live for
offseason. I
2
said,
hours and 20 minutes,
I promise
chat.
you this next year I got something for your ass. I jumped out the fan.
We're gonna try to go for
Like, I
6
was like, yeah, I'm
hours.
gonna be
I
ready
need
when
niggas to
it's
join
doing
my
this.
stream,
You was
bro.
ready to get out of
Somebody had to
Minnesota?
talk to myself.
Yeah,
I
that's.
need y'all
I
to-
can tell you, like,
Get me
that
up
was
there.
probably one of my most.
Don't turn me down, turn me up.
My darkest times, like my real dark times. Like, people don't really understand what it's
When the
like.
whole time in Minnesota or
Nah,
that
just
last
like
year?
towards like the end of my last 2 years, because like you don't know what it's like to go into a hostile environment or go to work and not feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Not feel like it's a safe haven, not feel like it's just a workspace. So for me wanting to get out of there, it was bigger than just a situation. And I kind of experienced a little bit of that this year as far as like going in a dark place a little bit, just because I had some PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Like in Minnesota, it was just like,
What was it in Minnesota that took you there?
I felt like I had potential and I didn't want to be an unsung hero. Like, I didn't want to be second fiddle to nobody. I felt like I believed in myself enough that I could, you know what I'm saying, lead a
And
team.
you felt like you were second fiddle to Adam?
Yeah,
Or you felt like he was the number one? and
yeah. That's how it was slated. It was like they treated me like a number one, but then at times it kind of like they played me small. So it was kind of like a little bit of a mind game as well, like being young and just being there. And I felt like it was a moment of like, rejoiced because I was like this, damn, I need to take my own life into my own hands. Like, and it was rolling the dice. Like, this ain't boxing. I'm not just by myself. Like, this a whole team. Like, this shit could go sour real quick. So when I wanted to get out of there, I was like, you know, when I tweeted, I was like, I think it's time for a new beginning. That was me betting on myself. And it's odd, people don't even know
What
this.
was you and Adam's relationship like?
Great, that's my bro. Like, I ain't no hater, like, you know what I'm saying? I love bro to death, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love seeing him have success, but I just knew for me, I just wasn't going for it. Like, I'm like, listen, I love what y'all got going on, but it ain't necessarily the best situation for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, teams always look out for the best interests of themselves. And I never wanted to rub anybody the wrong way because my reputation was I worked hard. You know what I'm saying? I kept my nose clean. I did what I was supposed to do. So when the rumors came out that I was a diva or I was this like that, I was like, man, that's water off my back. I don't care. I know what I bring to the table. I know what type of man I am. In any profession, all you want to do is reach your full potential. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not reaching your full potential not because of you, that's a problem.
That's
you have more.
crazy.
You have it's a battle within yourself. You have more questions than you have answers. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I can't navigate in that world. I gotta know because I know for a fact that when they whistle blow, I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's always about the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? What I want for myself, what I want for my family, I'm not compromising that. I can't compromise that because I'm gonna have to answer it to myself. When you look in the mirror like this, could you have changed it?
Yeah, and y'all team is so fucking good. What you think y'all missing in Buffalo to get y'all over that hump?
It doesn't make sense. Like, I will wreck my brain with this shit at this point because my first year I got there, we went to the AFC Championship. So if you really look at the grand scheme of things, like Minnesota sent me to Buffalo not to have the career that I've been having.
No.
You know what I'm saying? When people think of Buffalo, for example, you remember AB almost got traded to Buffalo?
Totally.
He was like, that's fake news. No, he really did get traded. He just was like, I ain't going shit. So for me, I felt like they sent me there for like, you know what I'm saying, for shit not to go well, in my opinion.
To die, basically.
Yeah,
It's
in
like
my
you're going
opinion.
to your career
You know what I'm saying? Things ended up going, we went to the AFC Championship.
Damn.
The next year we lose by what, 13 seconds? You know what I'm saying? Little shit like this is like...
This was your third year in Buffalo?
This is my past third year. And then this year we lose...
Who'd y'all lose in the first AFC championship?
KC.
And what are you missing to get over the hump in your... Are you missing anything? Is it execution? Like, what do you think?
I think it's more execution than anything. Shit is small little pieces on why shit is not going right. And I'm like this. You can wreck your brain like, we got the players, we got the plays. Why shit ain't coming together? And I'm like, that's when you draw so much questioning. I never want to question, like, who I am. I never want to question how I am. I'm giving this shit everything I got. I'm dying on the hill of that. You know what I'm saying? So,
and to you the best in the world?
I see you, 100%. I never, if people like, you can debate it like.
I think it's three that are, I love JJ and I think he's amazing. It's too early. And Chase.
Yeah, they sure.
You, Devontae.
I'm about to say, you gotta throw Tay in there.
Tay's footwork is this.
Yeah, I love Tay, that's my man.
You, Tay. I heard it, I seem to agree. Tyreek is not a natural catcher, but he's one of the best in the league. But he's not like a hand, like you and Tay. Y'all catch, he's more of a body catcher?
Yeah, but I know, like, I think somebody argue with, like, Tyreek Hill not being that. Listen, let me explain something to y'all. I just can't stress this enough. He's the fastest person in the league.
He by far, right?
I went to a practice and on the sideline, the coach was telling him like he needed to slow down because he was moving so fast.
Yeah.
They was monitoring his
them.
speed.
He one of them.
Yeah, he definitely, he one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you ever seen him hoop?
And he
Nah, I
can
never-
hoop.
Lefty, go dunk,
crazy.
windmills.
We
Yeah,
was
on this
we was
page.
just hooping in Vegas.
Oh,
How
you
you
was hooping
know?
at the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, we had like a little celebrity game. You can't hoop. I know you can. You can box. You can't hoop. God don't give you all the talent. God don't give you all the
You can't
talent.
have everything.
Like I said, just see me. I'm good.
You ain't rolling.
I can't see.
Just don't leave me open.
That shit.
I don't look like
you look
any.
like a
I don't
hooper
look
for
like a
sure.
He
hooper.
look like he can.
Why? Because I got the curry
know
going
he
on.
I can hoop, bro.
He can't hoop for shit.
I can.
He can.
Hey, stop real quick. he just came up, he just talked about this earlier. He said, believe. So when I'm on that court, I'm believing.
Let's be realistic.
And it's gonna look good. It's gonna look
Let's
good.
be realistic though.
Let's have a
I can really hoop though. Like if I like
You hooped high school.
like yeah, but if I like really put this football shit down and then say like let's dedicate my life to it.
Oh, you gonna hoop?
Damn.
Yeah, like I could really do that.
Oh, you go to the NBA.
100%. I could average at least 10.
I don't know if I He can't, but he fucking with us.
I go to the NBA, I'm averaging 0 points,
That's all I'm
That is not a
10
stat,
minutes,
though.
6
That is a
fouls,
stat.
20 turnovers. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a stat. I love Jerry. Because I get a stamp.
So you hoop all the time?
Yes, I put an NBA court in my house. During COVID, I put like a big ass workshop And so I got like a gym and a basketball court, golf simulator,
Oh,
and
shit.
all that stuff in my house.
Studio at the house?
Came over your house during COVID.
Yeah, I should live with you.
Vacay.
Come
You
on.
cut records right there, too?
Yeah.
You write with a team or you write by yourself?
They bunch of different writers come in and out, but I usually have like my favorites.
You always write in the studio or you write in the car? How you do it?
The studio.
By the way,
Yeah.
y'all know how he got started?
Closet.
Somebody heard you singing. Weren't you working?
I was working at Lowe's. I was singing in the paint department.
Somebody heard him sing. How
You
crazy?
lying.
Yeah.
You was about Sherman Williams?
Yeah, well, I was mixing.
Yeah, I know how it goes.
And what, you was just singing?
Yeah, it was one of my boys that was that went to high school with me. He's like, I gave him cold chills, so he was like, do the talent show. So I did the talent show, and I got a standing ovation. So I did another song, and then I went on like American Idol and X Factor and The Voice.
Oh, what?
You was on X Factor?
Yeah, I made X Factor, and they tried to put me in a boy band. And something told me don't do it. Like I followed my heart, and I just said no. And then a couple years later, I have my own record label, and I ended up signing that band that they tried to put me in.
Really?
Damn.
But wait.
Restless
No,
Road.
wait. You can't skip it. This is a very important question. Did you actually like the boy band, or you just did it to make it, this thing full
No,
circle?
because they were both great. They're all great guys. And the lead singer at the time, his name was Colton. He's in the band now. He was like the center of attention of everybody that was trying out. Everybody that made it, he was the center of the circle. Like I hated him.
Oh,
I tell him today, like I was like, I hated you, dude.
that's like going back to buy the restaurant you used to work at just to close it down.
Facts. I like that flex. So, Ken, if I heard you correctly, you have a record label.
Mm-hmm.
You're signing acts, always looking for great talent. Desi, one thing I feel you don't get enough credit for, you got bars. You got some bars.
Hey, man.
When you was in the studio?
I be in the studio, bro. I got a whole song out with Boosie Badass right now.
What was it called?
It's out right now?
Right now, it's been on iTunes for like a year.
Play it real quick. Oh, I see you.
Or just
You
spit,
wrote
or
it
just
yourself?
spit it. Just spit it.
Oh, no, it's gonna come right now. It won't be too long at all.
You got it?
Right here.
Let's do it.
You got no minutes?
Put on your mic.
Go crazy. Y'all don't want me to do it, Pulling up in this motherfucker, turned up, yeah, y'all nigga. We play that pop, down, nigga, no.
Yo, hey, throw that shit away.
Yo.
Fuck is you doing? Running up in your shit, nigga.
What the fuck?
Give a fuck, I'm about my cash, hell no. About my motherfucker.
You can't hoop, nigga.
You say what?
You can't hoop.
Bro.
No, you
Yes, I
can't
can.
dribble. I'm looking at you.
Don't see, they're sponsors. They be looking at people thinking and they get in the ring and they pop out and they got knocked out. Then they dead.
This is a good ass episode. I gotta watch more of The Shop, bro, for sure.